Now, the Jubilee Party having declared that they are going to support Dr. Fred Matiang'i. Here is a tweet I just came across on X. It says, Jubilee Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni has revealed that Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka is leading talks for a new political alliance with ex-CS Dr. Fred Matiang'i and then George Natembeya to unseat Ruto in 2027. The coalition, which excludes ODM and Kenya Kwanza, aims for a one-touch victory. Other leaders, including Eugene Wamalwa, are also being courted. Now, which cracks it in Azimio? Okay, now, that means very well, it's a hint and a communication to the rest of the country that Matiang'i is not just going to run with the Jubilee Party alone, meaning that they are going to have other leaders who are going to come on board and then they form coalitions, just like William Ruto is doing with his team. And as we see here clearly, this team is going to touch Western, Ukambani, also Mount Kenya region, which is among the main areas that we have on board. What do you think about these coalitions? Before I take you through, if this is the first time you're watching our videos, please make sure that you subscribe, like, and comment, because that is the best support you can always give this channel. Now, let me talk about this. Coalitions are very important when it comes to 2027, considering the political muscles that William Ruto and his team have now already put together. They have to have coalitions that are going to face President William Ruto in 2027. And also considering that the Kenyan politics is tribal. Before we get out of it, we know the Gen Zs are tribalists and the stuff. But now, we are not yet there when you are going to convince people on the ground that we no longer consider tribes. So therefore, and considering the game that William Ruto is playing right now, and Raila Amolo Odinga, they are taking us to the tribal corner so that we can play with them in the game they are best in. That's why actually President William Ruto and Raila Amolo Odinga brought Ali Hassan Joho, Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya into government, simply to ensure that the two regions of Western and Coast are in William Ruto's side, of which I doubt so much because so far everyone feels the pinch from William Ruto. That is very painful. Now, so therefore having the political base that is being established in the country, having coalitions is important for Matiang'i and the other teams. Now, Matiang'i is saying that he's going, okay, Jeremiah Kioni giving us this information. It means very well that Matiang'i is also going to have a coalition. And that coalition is going to include Natembeya. Recently, I listened to Natembeya. Natembeya said that if Ruto is leaving in 2027, he's going to be the president. Whether it is 2027 or 32, he's going to go for that seat. That was a clear indication that there's a possibility that Natembeya George is going to quit the gubernatorial seat of Trans Nzoia County. There's a high possibility that is going to happen. That George Natembeya is going to quit that seat and then join the presidential race. If he does not, he's going to vie for that seat, but seriously campaigning for Matiang'i in the Western region. That's the first thing. Secondly, Kalonzo Musyoka coming on board with the Kamba region votes, it's significant on its own way. He has already MPs and other things, so he is strong politically. Now, Matiang'i is coming from Gusii region with 9 MPs, and probably the Mount Kenya, which also will support him immensely, and many other parts of this region. Now, these people coming together, they are going to have a very formidable team that's going to fight Dr. William Samoei Arap Ruto, because this team, basically, it is known as Wachapakazi, except Kalonzo, whom we are doubting his political ground. So therefore, having this team is right. But now, there are some things I'm able to note from this team. First, there's a likelihood Kalonzo might say, Matiang'i tosha. Because if you consider all odds, all angles, Dr. Fred Matiang'i is much more popular than Kalonzo Musyoka. But Kalonzo Musyoka can be more famous than Dr. Fred Matiang'i. So if they want to remove William Ruto from power, then the person to come on board, it is none other than Dr. Fred Matiang'i. People are saying even if Dr. Fred Matiang'i could have been supported in 2022 by Raila Amolo Odinga, as we talk today, William Ruto could be in Sugoi, taking care of his chicken. So the fact remains that if we bring Matiang'i in 2027, then Kalonzo says Matiang'i tosha. That is it. That is it. So there's a likelihood. Also, we can't rule out that Matiang'i is likely also to say Kalonzo tosha in 2027. Go as a running mate. And then Rigiji comes with his team. Matiang'i with his team. Eventually, they go ahead and support Kalonzo Musyoka for the presidency. And if they win, they can divide the seats as they have always done in government. Another thing that I'm learning from this kind of a coalition strongly is that Eugene Wamalwa has been sidelined slightly. Why am I saying so? We all know that Eugene Wamalwa is not that popular in this country. Eugene Wamalwa, even in Bungoma himself, he could not be able to deliver. He could not even deliver an MP, or actually, he was not able to deliver the senatorial seat which was after Wetangula had quit for the Senate seat and then went for the Speaker seat. It was left vacant, and now it was time for Eugene Wamalwa to show his political strength with a party called DAP. But they were not able to beat that gentleman who was just new. I think he was a chairman for CDF under Wetangula's team, who was just new. They could not be able to beat him. So as a result, we found that Eugene Wamalwa lost that seat. People might talk of DAP under Mumias. Mumias, that is a very strong candidate that we have. He's vocal, he was loved, and I think they didn't make a mistake by having Peter Salasi on board. When you talk of Natembeya, it is his strategy and political strength. I mean, maybe you can also talk of his track record that gave him the seat. It's not because of that of Eugene Wamalwa. So as we speak today, what I can be able to learn from the coalition that is going to be made, probably Eugene is not going to be the deputy president of Kalonzo Musyoka, as it had been alluded before, because we all saw that, in several occasions, Jeremiah Kioni, and even we had Ferdinand Waititu Babayao insinuating that Eugene Wamalwa is going to be the running mate for Kalonzo Musyoka. I also did a video at Mokwa Times indicating that it's not yet time to give the name of the deputy or the running mate of Kalonzo Musyoka. It's too early for you guys to decide such kind of things. Therefore, relax first. And actually, probably, Eugene Wamalwa got the advice and stepped back. As we speak today, he's not that vocal the way you had been singing before. He was always speaking in front of camera, speaking after Kalonzo, or maybe before Kalonzo, meaning that he was the next after Kalonzo Musyoka. So the fact remains that so far as we speak, Eugene Wamalwa has stepped back and probably has been replaced. She has been told, you wait first, wait for 2027 and see what's going to happen. And probably as we speak today, there's a likelihood that even Kalonzo Musyoka is also reconsidering his candidature, because the fact remains it's not all about going for the campaign or being in the ballot. If you want to win here, you need to take the most popular candidate in the country. As we speak today, unless Kalonzo is working with William Samoei Ruto to spoil the Mount Kenya votes and the entire country, then Kalonzo Musyoka should leave for Matiang'i. If it's genuinely, I'm not saying this because I'm coming from the Gusii region. I'm saying this because of the popularity that is on Matiang'i's side. If Kalonzo Musyoka decides to say Matiang'i Tosha, that will be the moment that this Kenya will change. Imagine Matiang'i getting the 1.5 million from the Kamba region, and then getting the 2 million from the Gusii region, and then getting maybe probably 6 million from Mount Kenya region. He's already the president before the rest of the country. And then now getting from the coast region. It's done very early in the morning. I don't know what's your take as far as the coalitions are made and the changes that I can detect from a distance, but can let me sit on the comment section on what you think, you guys, about the coalitions that Matiang'i, Kalonzo are all coming up with in preparation of countering President William Ruto and his team, including Raila Amolo Odinga, in 2027.